Hello. Welcome, everybody. How are you all doing tonight, or this afternoon, or early morning, wherever you may be in the world? I hope you are all doing well. And, you know, you know, thank you for stopping by and choosing to hang out with me. The Star Citizen degenerate, right? So before we go, I'm going to vent some frustrations that are not Star Citizen related. So a couple of weeks ago, there was an update to my streaming software. And for some reason, for the life of me, cannot get Twitch back up and running on my streaming software. No matter what I do, Twitch will not run. So once again, those of you that are watching on Twitch that are now over on YouTube or wondering why I'm not going live on Twitch, I'm having a streaming software issue and I don't know how to resolve it. So I'm going to reach out to some people and try to figure out what the hell is going on, because no matter what I do, it will not stream over to Twitch. It'll go to YouTube just fine, but not Twitch. It's a bit frustrating. So, yeah, other than that, I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. I hope you all are as well. Diz, I see you. Brian, Allergic, JT. Yeah, Twitch guy got banned. But I see you all there. For those of you that are maybe new or don't know about Twitch guy, so a long time ago, I discovered that you could dual stream onto YouTube and Twitch. And I'm talking like 2 years ago. JT was there for this, maybe even longer. So, I start streaming to both, and, all these people would be on YouTube, like JT and Mason and a few others. And they would be, chatting away, and I would look over and Twitch would have one viewer and not saying anything. And I'd always be like, the guy on Twitch, if you want to jump in and say anything, go ahead. We don't bite. And this went on for weeks, like 6-7 weeks. And then I realized that me looking at the chat, having the chat pulled up for Twitch, counted me as one viewer. So I was talking to myself. So for a long time, it's JT's been busting my balls about Twitch guy not being involved in our conversations and all of that. So yeah, it was barely over 2 years ago. Yeah, it feels like it was, longer than that, really. But so here's what we're gonna do, right? I'm gonna try not to do the I told you so when it comes to Star Citizen. I'm not trying to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I do feel a little bit of vindication because for a year, I, put out videos or would do live streams, and I would get comments or people in the chat telling me that I was just a jerk and I was an ass and all of this when it came to me talking about 4.0. And, some of it was warranted because, look, I'm human. I have bad days, and I just absolutely was shitting on, 4.0 and Star Citizen, and I get it. But, a lot of the things I said came to pass. And as I said, I'm not going to make this entire stream about, I told you so, or see, I'm right, you're wrong. I don't want to do that, because there's a lot of us here that met through Star Citizen, enjoy playing Star Citizen, have spent a lot of money on Star Citizen, or spent a lot of time in Star Citizen, right? And all of our experiences are a bit different, from the style of gameplay we choose to play, to the amount of money we decide to give, to the amount of time we put in, etc. And I don't want to be that guy that is just trying to shit on everybody's fun or investment or the time that they've put into this game. I don't want to do that. But what I do want to do, what I would like to come out of this is a good conversation that we can have with each other, with people in the comment section when this turns into a VOD, and have an actual conversation, not arguments, not calling each other names, but actually having a conversation. Because, as I said, a lot of us have had fun. A lot of us play this game differently. A lot of us have spent a lot of money into this project. We've spent a lot of time in this project, and it affects us all. Yes, I know this is a first world problem and that there's other bigger things going on in the world, but that's not what this channel is. This channel is video games, Star Citizen, and other video games and pop culture, right? Sci-fi nerd stuff, right? Tiz, I'm trying. I really don't want to be like, haha, I told you so, but you know, just with the things that are going on right now, it's kind of gone to a place where I was hoping it wouldn't go. And yeah, I like I said, I don't want to be the I told you so guy. I really don't want to, but so what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna go through. I don't watch him. I only know of him through a couple of other streamers and content creators, but we're gonna go through the Tirada post. You know, that has been all the buzz around Star Citizen the last, what is it, 2 days now? You know what? That's very true. That's very true, JT. You keep me in check, don't you? Don't you? JT actually does keep me pretty honest a lot, and I appreciate him for that. But we're going to go over the Tirada post. And you know what? Since JT kind of said it, before we get into the Tirada post, I want to do something I haven't done in a while, and that is, first and foremost, thank you to all of you that come here, put up with my amateur streaming and amateur videos that I somehow make. So thank you to all of you. And then I want to take some time and say some thank you to some people that are very important in my life. And first and foremost, thank you to my wife and my daughters. They let me do this. I don't want to say let me, but they allow me the space to do what I want to do. And it's really cool that they support me in this. And then as far as there's just a few specific viewers that I want to say thank you to. You know who you are. I don't want to call you out and either embarrass you or make other viewers feel unimportant. So those viewers, you know who you are. And to the people that helped me along the way, I'd like to give specific shout outs to Dr. Bailey 88, Pagan Linux Geek, Marcus Wynn, Canop, and yeah, I think that about covers it. No. I want to say thank you to a couple other guys. As far as me streaming and actually keeping on it, there's a couple other people I'd like to thank, and that is Star Streams, Space Shorts, and of course Grumpy Eye. And I know that names invokes a lot of different emotions in the Star Citizen community, but I don't really give a damn. Grumpy, you my brother, love you, man. Anyways, let's get into this Tirada stuff. Right, let's get into this Tirada stuff. What I will do too, one more thing before we go, what I will do too is, if you are in the Discord and you would like a chance to air your own grievances, make some counterpoints, say some things that weren't brought up, then go ahead, join my Discord, and I'll let you say your piece. I'll let you go as long as you'd like. If we somehow start getting backed up with more and more people coming into the Discord that want to talk, I'll have to limit your time. But I figure after we get through the Tirada post. If you guys want to say your piece, jump in. There's a spot all the way at the bottom of the Discord called the waiting room. You can jump in there, and I'll drag you in, and we'll have ourselves a little chat, or I'll let you speak your piece, whichever you want to do. So I guess let's get into it, right? So for those of you that don't know, this is Tirada. He's a Twitch streamer. He's I guess you could call him Chris's golden child. Chris is really into Tirada, I guess. And whenever Tirada puts something out, it seems like Chris bends over backwards to get it done, right? So yeah, the fact that Tirada is saying this, he's put in words more eloquently than what I've been saying for the last year in some cases, and how I feel the state of the game is currently. So we're not going to read the whole thing, but we're going to jump around a little bit and cover bits and pieces. If you'd like me to go over to the whole thing, just tell me in chat and I'll go over the whole thing. So let's go. So first and foremost, for Christmas, we finally got the long-awaited 4.0 update, teased and announced for years. After all the waiting, all the delays, multiple citizen cons hyping it up and showing the world how this patch would change everything. Meanwhile, we've been struggling with the game since at least 3.18. Bugs, instability, outrageous balance issues, terrible ergonomics. I think he means economics, not ergonomics, but yeah, sprinkled with the promises that some feature of 4.0 would make things better. 4.0 launched as a preview on Christmas Eve after months of delays. I'd say years of delays, but after months of delays, an absolutely disastrous state, getting worse by the day. Now, I will say the first couple of days were good, but yes, it quickly turned into a shit blender very quickly. It doesn't take a high IQ person to look at the servers and go, yeah, this is not working. Turned into a complete disaster. You left us through the entire holiday period with an unplayable build. A large portion of the community could barely log in or was stuck in prison. Major game-breaking issues surfaced, and we had to wait over a month for 4.01, which was supposed to bring important fixes and QOL improvements, quality of life. I can't find the exact source now, but I'm certain I read this from a member of your team. Even Chris Roberts' latest message was reassuring, with good intentions for 2025, focusing on QOL and bug fixes. Now 4.0 is live, and it's somehow worse than the previous version. Honestly, we should have seen it coming, unlike what we saw on Spectrum, 9 to 10 times more stable. I'd laugh if it didn't mean so much to me.
Stay calm. We're taking over the ship.
Yeah, exactly, Chaos. I'm going to finish this intro, and then I'll kind of throw in my points and get to some of the stuff in chat. Where did I leave off? PTU was empty. Nobody played it. From the little I did, I immediately ran into the same bugs as the preview version. I analyzed every patch. I found no major fixes, no significant QOL improvements, and just things we didn't ask for, secondary fixes. Okay, I'm slightly exaggerating, but seriously, there were only 2 or 3 worthwhile changes, and they weren't enough. As for stability, how can you possibly assess that when the PTU has a few hundred players at most, while the live servers have tens of thousands? I don't have your internal stats, but I'm sure they reflect what I see on Twitch, YouTube, and in the community's comments, and everything is a disaster. People are losing hope. Even I find myself questioning things sometimes these days. Now, if we take a step back, and some things are obvious, 4.0 is never going to launch perfectly, not with everything it introduces, and in some ways, it's a half success. Before going further, I want to acknowledge the developers' work. They did what they could under the circumstances, and in many ways, they succeeded. Server meshing works, and Pyro is stunning. To be clear, my criticism is directed solely at the higher-ups, the decision makers. And now that we've set the stage, let's get down to business. Yes, this is a rant. Try to be constructive in providing real arguments. So before we jump into the 4.0 release, right? I want to make this very, very clear. almost a year ago now, I said that if 4.0 came out in 2024, that all we were going to get was server meshing and pyro. I got called all sorts of names, whether it was in YouTube comments in my section or in other people's, that I said the exact same thing in other comment sections, whether it was, you know, I won't throw their names out, but other content creators, I said the same thing. I got called all sorts of names. I was told I was a hater, this, that, and the other. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a game dev, etc. So there's that. And I wish I was wrong, but I wasn't. I also said that this was going to be a very bad time in Star Citizen, and it's going to take 6 months or a year before they get the bugs and the kinks and everything worked out so that it is a smooth playing tech demo, game demo, as we were used to seeing. As I think it was Allergic or Diz said earlier, that 3.17 was one of the more stable patches that we ever played. Now, I am a little biased because I started playing just after Invictus in 3.16. So I only got like 3 weeks in the old 3.16 patch, and then it went directly into 3.17.0, and that's really where I started playing.
Like a calm and
I do need to learn development.
Are you?
So I'm a little bit biased because I thought 3.17 ran very well. 3.18 hit. Well, we all know what happened, right? I said that this was going to be 3.18 level of issues, right? You're bringing in new tech. You're bringing in a new system. Things are going to be rough for a while. Once again, I was called names. I was told I was a hater. I don't know game development, etc. Now, as far as going after devs and going after the higher ups, when I first started seeing the cracks in the Star Citizen stuff, I decided to lash out at devs, and then I realized it's not the devs' fault, not really, right? They're directed to and told what to do and what to work on, and after that, and who tells them to do that? Their managers, their team leads, marketing, Chris, the board, etc. Right? So what they're working on and what they're told is priority is not their fault. They're doing the job that's assigned to them, and they are doing the work. But when the higher ups keep making the decisions that they make, this is what we get. And I don't want people saying that it's the dev's fault. In some cases, it probably is, but I'd say a large amount of the responsibility and the accountability falls on upper management, team leads, marketing, Chris, and the board. This is their fault, right? You reap what you sow. We knew this stuff was coming. We knew it was going to be bad, and this is what we got. Now, one last thing before I move on. I said back in August, September, November, do not release this before the winter break. Save it until January or February. We've waited 6 years. We can wait a little bit longer. It's not that big of a deal. I didn't say it, somebody else did. You only get one shot at 4.0, right? We only get one shot at 4.0. And this is what they gave us, right? They should have waited. They really, really should have waited. And as far as 4.01 is concerned, they also should have waited. Now, I'm going to go on a limb here, and I'm going to say the reason why 4.01 was put out the way it was put out was because marketing and the absolutely crazy inability to make a game that's really cool that will make you money. You know what's only going to make you money in the short term? Releasing new shiny ships. That's only a short-term thing. We need good gameplay, and the game will sell itself. The YouTube creators, the Twitch creators, the well, I don't know if TikTok exists here anymore or not, but any sort of social media platform, and people play this game and praise it, and it's actually in a good state, and it's actually a game worth playing, it will sell. It will sell. It will sell itself. But we need to get there first. All right, let me get through chat, and then we'll start the next part. I call myself a realist, not a doomer, but yes, you spoiled us with 317. Yep. Agree. Started with 17, so my view is biased. I agree with you, Brian. I kind of agree with that too, Allergic. I really do. One thing I want to bring up with 4.01, when it was in PTU, okay, you fired or laid off, whatever you want to say, most of your QA. So you have no quality assurance, right? You have zero quality assurance. You're relying on us, the backers, to be your quality assurance for you. But you have 3 different versions of the game going at one time. Did you really expect anybody to go and test 4.01 PTU? Really? Did you really expect that? You had 3.24 going, you had the 4.0 preview, and you had the 4.01 PTU. Did you really expect anybody was going to play 3.24 or the 4.01 PTU? No, they were all going to be in 4.0. So once again, that is another huge disastrous mistake that CIG made. Quality assurance should have been there making the decisions that we had, but
we are
I don't want to say that. They should have been there saying that this is screwed, you need to fix it. But because there is no QA, and I will also say QA has not been the greatest since I've been playing this game, they need to do a better job. They really do. They really need to do a better job. All right, let's get into this a little bit more. Releasing this patch right before vacation was probably the worst decision you could have ever made.
Fired.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. We were left with a broken build, a skeleton crew to pick up the pieces, and in game development, when something as massive as 4.0 is released, the studio needs to be ready to handle the necessary fixes. I'm not inside your company. I don't know all the details, but 4.0 should have probably been released in January with full team ready to pick up patch issues from the start. That alone would have massively reduced the frustration of waiting for fixes. Agreed. 100% agreed. The other option is to release it early, say November, leaving the last 2 months of the year to address those bugs before holidays. Well, they really couldn't because of, SitCon, IAE, and that's the big moneymaker for them, right? They just can't, they wouldn't have done that. I have a hard time believing there was nothing you could sacrifice to launch it on time. If you think about it, the mission refactor is one of the biggest issues in this build. And yet the devs working on it spent a year on dynamic events. I'm sorry to say, nobody cares about those. It wasn't a priority. Save Stanton, Fight for Pyro, the failed Blockade Runner event, I don't even remember the name of. None of it were necessary. Cutting them or pushing them back would have probably allowed the mission team to work on the actual technology and core missions of the game, which are now missing in 4.0. You could have, the ones that have kept us occupied all year, not just for the 2 weeks when the marketing team wants to sell ships. Okay, so I have said for a while that the dynamic events just don't work in this game. They cause a lot of issues, a lot of back-end issues, problems on the server. I mean, come on, Xenothreat. Every time they run Xenothreat, it's Xenocrawl, right? The server FPS tanks, the bandwidth in, out tanks, ships are moving at a crawl, across the system. And if you get closer to the event, it just gets worse. And if you're in Xenothreat, it's, PowerPoint simulator. It's not good. The dynamic events do absolutely nothing. Sure, they're fun for a couple of weeks or however long they last, but then what? They go away and you're left with the same busted mess that we have currently. Let's talk about what could be done instead of having dynamic events. have, as he said, core missions, core gameplay, and have it done right. And those will keep us busy. We don't have to have 4 and 5 dynamic events every year, right? Allow JT to be on, 3 months out of the year, et cetera, et cetera. But we don't need Xenothreat. We don't need Save Stanton. We don't need, Fight for Pyro and all the other stuff, right? We just don't need it. We just don't need it. Marketing. Stop advertising Star Citizen as if it's blah. Stop advertising Star Citizen as if the game is finished. How many of you guys click on, even if it's not related to Star Citizen, you click on a YouTube video and there is a Star Citizen ad, and the things that they're showing in the ad don't even exist in the game. The things that they show you can't even do in the game. And the way they leave it at the end with playable now, most of the time it's not even playable, right? So why? Just why? I don't understand it. I don't get it. So I don't get. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Persistence. We've been losing our ships, components, and in-game purchased weapons with every update for years. Are you aware of that? Oh, they're well aware of it, and they plan sales event around it. They really do. They plan sales events around it. Do you think another full reset makes much of a difference to us? You're absolutely right. It doesn't. No, it doesn't, because I'm not going to say all of us, but a large majority of us, we already have the ships we want and need because we pledged for them. So what does a full wipe really do? Oh, damn, I guess I have to go and mine some more. I have to salvage some more. I have to do some more bounty hunting missions again. Oh, damn. Like, it does suck, but I already have all the ships I need. So what does it really mean? What does it really mean? Right?
Stay a while and listen.
We did a full wipe, but guess what's coming? The day after we did the full wipe, another ship sale. So yeah. Vehicle spawning. Now, vehicle spawning has been a big problem for me, and I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but he's right. You have to claim it, or you have to have a secondary ship the same size as your other one. Call it, claim it, or excuse me, claim it because it's destroyed, then call your main one, then go down to the hangar and go through the process, right? You got to do this over and over and over and over again anytime you want to play. I cannot play this game without losing all of my ships in the first go because they all get destroyed. And I only have 3, right? And 2 of them are the same size. One of them's a large, right? So I have to go through this all over again every time I want to play the game. It's very, very annoying. Missions. Objectives not registering and the markers failing to appear. These are critical issues. We know that this has been a problem, right? This has actually been a problem for on and off for years, right? Right? Elevators. Do we really need to speak about elevators? Elevators are awful. When I first came around in 3.17, if somebody went AFK standing near an elevator, at that time, the elevators would actually suck you down into the elevator shaft and throw you into space or crush and kill you. So if somebody went AFK in front of the elevators, I would run up and hit the elevator button and run away and be peeking around a corner to see if they would get sucked into the elevator and spat out, right? So this has been going on for as long as I've been playing the game, and it's gotten really, really bad as of late. Balancing. Okay, so he brings up balancing, but I'll defend Star Citizen for a little bit here. You can't have balancing if you don't have everything in the game, right? But their attempts at balancing have left me scratching my head and going, oh dear God, because you can't balance ship weapon damage to ship HP, but you expect me to trust you to have it balanced for up to 8 different ship components, fuses, and then eventually armor. Really? You want me to trust you on that when you show you can't even balance ship HP to weapon damage? Like, or better yet, how long, right? I know Chaos can attest to this. How long did we go with distortions not doing anything to ships because they couldn't figure out how to balance them? Right? They were basically just turned off. They didn't do anything. Right? How long? And you want me to trust your team, or better yet, the people making the decisions for your developing team to balance this game? Right. I don't have any faith. I have zero faith. Game access issues. All right, look, I have had problems since 3.18 or in 3.18. I couldn't get in for almost 2 months. Right. Almost, yeah, 2.5 months. I couldn't get in. Completely account locked. Couldn't get in. That's when I discovered DayZ. DayZ is a fantastic game. As long as you play on a PvP server, don't play this wussy PvE only with all the cheats on. And by cheats, I mean the black market and the shop traders and all of that stuff. Don't play that game that way. You're cheating yourself out of an amazing experience. But I digress. This has been an issue in 3.18. It's been an issue in 4.0. This is something that you need to fix, and you need to fix now, right? I've talked to people that have 3 accounts, 4 accounts, 5 accounts, and some of them can't get in with any of their accounts. Some of them can only get in with one of their accounts. Some of them can get in with 2 of their accounts, but their main one's locked. So this needs to get fixed, right? This needs to get fixed, and it needs to get fixed now. Right? You're barring people from playing your game that have paid a lot of money, right? Right? PTU server population. No. I didn't play on the PTU, so I don't have anything to really add to this other than, look, you had 3 different builds of the game going, and most of the time, from the people that I talked to that did play the PTU, it was mostly single digit people on the PTU, right? So how did you think anything was going to get tested when you laid off or fired almost all of your QA, right? You expected this to be a good time. No, it was not. I still, and I won't get into it in detail, I still think that if you play in the PTU and you've been doing your issue consoles and you have time in and all of that, there should be some type of reward based thing going on in the PTU to actually get people to play it. But I digress, right? So yeah, in conclusion, the community has had enough. What was supposed to be the patch of the decade is now turning into a nightmare. I still believe in Star Citizen, but I've never questioned myself as much as I do now. The criticism from the skeptics is getting harder to counter despite all the promises made at SitCon. Play the game, test it yourself. It's not up to us to do all the dirty work. Some bugs shouldn't have been in the game for years. Step up, make us forget this mess, and do it fast. Thanks in advance for reading. So there's a lot to take in there, and I've kind of given my my points on it. If you want to make a point, as I said, or you want to air your grievances or tell myself and Tarada and other people that we're all wrong and all of that, I don't care. If you want to jump in, go ahead, jump in the Discord, in the waiting room. I'll pull you in. I'll put up a fresh link in case somebody hasn't made it in, and we'll add it. You can jump in.
Stay a while and listen.
Do I think removing the free flight was good for optics? I think for the people that have already spent their money and attempt playing this game as much as they do, I think it was a step in the right direction. Typing this stuff out or doing an ISC and standing in front of a camera telling us this is what you're going to do to fix the game and these are the problems that you're having in doing it. I mean, that's great and all, but it's not action, right? And I think it's...
Stay a while and listen.
I think actions will speak louder than the words spoken in front of a camera at an ISC or a Star Citizen Live. I think it's better than looking at Spectrum posts from the developers and team leads. Is it a step in the right direction? Yes. Is it enough? Not yet. Not yet. I think it's, as Allergic is saying, I think it's also good because you're not going to have a wave of players coming in to experience, you know, the 6-year wait that was Pyro and going, oh my God, this game is trash. And now you've just fed, you know, more of the skeptics, the haters, you know, the hate baiting YouTube content creators, right? It's good in many ways, but it's a small step that should have been taken a long time ago, right? A lot of times when I was playing regularly, when free flights would happen, I would just not play during the free flight, or I would play the first 2 days and, you know, go SEAL clubbing at like New Babbage or you know, Area 18 or whatever for a day or two, and it was fun, and I would get my laughs in and move on and log out of the game for the rest of the week because it was generally a shit show, right? So I think it's good, but it's a little, it's, how do I put it? It's too little too late. And Rakumo, I see you there. The haters and the skeptics are right. To a degree, yeah. Yeah, to a degree, they're right. To a degree. I don't want to say I'm one of those skeptics and haters because I love the game and I want to see it become more than it currently is. But I also don't try to sugarcoat this and be like, yeah, this is the best game ever, because it's not. This is a tech demo layered on top of a tech demo layered on top of a tech demo, all the way down the line. And if you haven't before, you're seeing it now. The cracks in the layers that are the tech demo are showing, and they're showing bad, right? Some of those cracks aren't cracks anymore. They're canyons, right? So, you know, can we fix it? Okay, here's a question for you guys, you know, whether you want to come into Discord and discuss it or whether you guys want to, you know, have a discussion in chat. It really doesn't bother me. Can the community drive CIG to fix this? Or are they just going to take our money and do whatever they want, right? Can the community help steer the ship? I have my opinion on it, but what about you guys? Can the community actually steer this ship in some way? As I said, I want this game to be a fantastic game. I want this to be the game that 25 years from now, another game like this is coming out and we're going to go, but is it as good as Star Citizen, right? It's called the VIP Lounge. Can we, the community, steer it? If we get a few opinions in chat or somebody calls in, I'll give you my answer to it. I agree. Yeah, right. We're roadmap watchers. Money does talk, Allergic. And I think the time came over a year ago for me to vote with my wallet. I have not bought a single ship, a single subscription to play a PTU. I have not done any of that, and I refuse to do that. If I get a new ship, well, guess what? It was me melting a whole bunch of stuff to get that ship and try it out, right? I don't buy stuff, right? I don't buy the new stuff. and I will never buy the new stuff. I'm just not that way. All right, Captain, I gotcha. Yeah, just join the waiting room. I'll drag you in. Oh, we got a pagan. We got a pagan. All right, Chaos. You'll get to go after pagan. Pagan, we got a pagan. I'm gonna drag him in here, and yeah. Pagan, I just saw that you joined. How are you? Pagan? Pagan. Pagan?
Hey, buddy, how are you? I'll just
Hey!
mute Echo.
How are you doing? How you feeling?
My tummy is full. Mrs. B and I just got back from dinner.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I'm glad you had a good dinner. How's Mrs. B doing?
She's doing better. Today's been a weird blood sugar kind of day for her. She's been up and down, like scary down, scary up. But she's doing better now.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So her state right now is slightly better than Star Citizen.
That's pretty good. So we read the Tirada post. I don't know if you read it or watched any videos on it, but that's been the talk of the town in the Star Citizen area for a while now, right? And I just so first, if you've read it or you know anything about it, I'd like to know your opinions on it, or if you have other grievances, counterpoints, whatever.
Which post is this?
So Tirada 2 days ago, he's a French streamer that Chris really is in love with. And he basically said 4.0 is a disaster. You should have waited or released it early. Releasing it before vacation and having a skeleton crew there to pick up the pieces was a really bad mistake. You know, he talked about some of, the missions aren't working and that how they're critical. Stop advertising. He went into marketing, stop advertising the game is finished, let the players and the content creators market this game for you. If you do your job and you make a great game, people will spend the money. Persistence, how long have we been losing our in-game purchase weapons for every update when 3.18 was supposed to be the long-term persistence thing that fixed all of that, and we still don't. It's like it works in game, but it doesn't work on the back end for us to keep our stuff, right? Vehicle spawning issues, mission issues, the elevators again, all of that stuff. People getting locked out, having game access issues. So I was wondering if you had any anything you'd like to add to that, or any 4.0 experiences that you've had that you would like to share.
Yeah, lots.
And if
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't watched the Tirado post, but I will definitely take a look at that. I see you have it open on Spectrum. I'll take a look at that here in a minute.
Okay.
I think based on your summary, I would say that Tirada summed it up very well. There have been 2 patches of Star Citizen where I was at the point where I have to shut it down. I have to walk away. I have to play something else. And this is one of them. This is one of those posts where if I've got an hour and a half to play, I'm like, well, I'm not firing up Star Citizen because there's no point. 3.8, I think it was, and this one have been the 2 that have been like, I have to take a break. 3.8, the problem there was the rest of the game was fine, but they were starting to change and put in server object containers. So they were trying to get it ready. That was like server meshing 0.5 is what that was. They're like, hey, at some point we want to do server meshing. We want to have more than one game server running the game. So we need to make it so that we can dynamically load and unload parts of this game so that 2 servers can, one server can run this part, one server can run that. Well, once they started putting that SOX code in there, stuff just started crashing. I mean, like, you would load into the game and you might make it down to your hangar and 30K. So then you're right back to loading in again, and this time you might make it to your actual pilot ship and then 30K. I mean, it was bad. And then this one has been, I would say, just as bad, if not worse. And not that we're getting 30K so often. I mean, we're still getting the server errors, but my own personal experience has been like load in and like party launch with Bendy or other people. Bendy's in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes time, in 180 seconds time, he's in the game and going, okay, where are you? And I'm watching a loading bar bounce back and forth. I'm looking at the timer and it's saying 240 seconds, 300 seconds, 360, 420. And then when I do load in, it seems like yesterday, I loaded in yesterday to play a little bit. Eventually got loaded in on the third try. Go down to the elevator to get out of the halves. Both doors are doorways to the abyss. So I exit out, load in again, and oh, look, this time I got loaded in on the second try, and the elevators are here. Awesome, I think we're good. Nope. Elevator to go to the Galleria to buy cargo is a doorway to the abyss. Next elevator over, doorway to the abyss. And that's what takes and kills my drive to play. It's like, okay, I get past the first critical game break, literally game stopping bug, and then you're going to have another tier. So no, you graduated to tier 2 of game stopping bugs. I mean, Mrs. B, she's like, why? You know, she's like, hey, everything okay? And I'm like, no. I says, I loaded in, the elevator didn't work. I go to the Galleria, that elevator doesn't work. I get on a server where the Galleria elevator works. I go buy cargo on that same server, and now I can't leave the Galleria because the elevators are away to the abyss. Right. I said, I'm having to load in 5 or 6 times just to buy cargo and just to get it on a ship.
So I want to show chat here something real quick.
Yep.
I'm not going to flip to it because it's slightly embarrassing. So this notebook right here, this notebook right here, when I first started playing, I wrote down all the bugs and the workarounds for them. And that was when I first started playing. What's crazy is, and maybe I should go through it and update the bugs, but also how many of them have they actually gotten rid of, right?
Oh, well, that's going to be the sad part.
And like I stopped, obviously, after like a few weeks when I realized, you know, a lot of the bugs have the same kind of workarounds, I stopped writing them in that notebook. But when I first started playing, this is not working, or this is broken, or what do I do? And people in chat or whatever would tell me, well, this is how you fix it. Menu log, log out bed log, try doing this, you know, and it's kind of sad. But anyways, so 4.0 hasn't been kind to you then?
No. And then on top of all of that, you load in and it's like, oh, wait a minute, where are those Class A industrial grade shields that I bought 5 of? Oh, there goes 1,000,000 credits. Where's the mining heads that I bought? Oh, those are gone. The mining module survived. You know, the $20 per piece mining module, that survived, but the 100,000 credit mining head, those went bye-bye. The 130 to 200,000 credit shield generators, those went bye-bye. And I'm like, come on, guys. I mean, it's at the point now where I don't even want to buy stuff for the ships right now. Because I'm like, well, who knows? I mean, they could drop 4.02 and suddenly all this stuff goes away. And I know people are losing ships. I mean, there have been people ranting in global chat about losing in-game purchase ships.
Yeah, I've heard some people saying on Reddit and Spectrum that they're losing contested zone keys and the contested zone ships that were rewards for completing the contested zones. They're losing those as well.
Yeah, like last night I was in a server, and I'm not going to name the individual because I don't want them to feel like we're singling them out. But just as an example, this guy was playing a contested, at least I assume it was a he. They were playing a contested zone a lot like some people choose to play Tarkov. They were ratting it. So they'd go in there and they'd hide somewhere in a dark spot. And then when someone would get the key or whatever, he would run over and grab the key. Well, he got mad because someone found him ratting. I'm guessing someone found him ratting and killed him and then emptied the cards and stuff out of his backpack. And, well, you know, and I wanted to jump in there and say, hey, if you're going to a contested zone, that's PvP. That's a battlefield. You should expect it to be treated as a battlefield. I'm not going to go into a contested zone solo and be like, no, please don't shoot me. I'm not cruel. It's like, no, I mean, that's like walking into, you know, Berlin, Germany and saying, No, speaking Sie Deutsch. Well, that's on you because you went to frickin' Germany for crying out loud.
Right.
Or like going into Africa and being like, oh my God, I can't believe someone shot at me. Really? You're in the wrong place, buddy. But I kind of went on a rant there, but the whole thing was he was mad because he kept losing his cards. And the people were like, hey, you know, those cards are consumable items. They're not supposed to persist across server updates.
Right. Which kind of sucks.
Yeah, but they really should have set that expectation because not everyone knew that those were consumables.
Yeah. Well, once again, that goes to CIG, their communication, and then their execution, whether it's their communication's poor or their execution's poor. It always seems like it's one or the other, and well, sometimes both. So I have a question for you. Do you feel, I guess it's two questions. Do you feel that the community as a whole is finally starting to be like, hey, this is how this is being handled is not right anymore?
Yes, I do. And we're seeing more and more signs of that. I don't post on Star Citizen refunds often, but I will go in there and monitor it. And that is a subreddit that I've only found myself in for the past 2 years.
Okay.
I mean, prior to that, I was like, oh, this is a bunch of refundians. These are a bunch of Derek Smart people. I don't need any of this crap. Go away. I don't need that negativity in my life. But as I started seeing more and more decisions CIG was making that I disagreed with, I started finding myself monitoring that subreddit quite a bit. And now I'm starting to see people posting stuff in the refund subreddit and they're like, hey, listen, I still believe in this project. I still want it to I want it to succeed, but what the F are these people doing? What are they thinking? You know, and people were complaining about the free. Now I know they've canceled it already, which is a smart move.
I agree.
They were scheduling the free fly, and I'm like, really? The servers are freaking literally dumpster fires, and you're going to invite potential backers in? Hi, tour the dumpster fire. See how bad it is. I think canceling that free fly was a really smart decision, probably the smartest one they've made in the last 2 months.
I agree with that as well. So I got one last question, and then I got other people now waiting. Do you feel that the community can kind of steer this ship now, or do you feel that it's just going to be, we're just going to be more white noise in CIG's ear?
Well, I hope that we can. We've heard scuttlebutt that Sandy is coming back to take over marketing. Now, when I first joined the project in 2019, people were complaining that Sandy was no longer in charge of marketing. And I don't know, I'm guessing based on the people that told me that and situations that they would relate, it seemed like Sandy had more of a personal solution to customer support. Like, hey, this person has spent $1,500 back in the project. They spent $2,000 back in the project. They want us to unlock an Apollo for them. It's no big deal. Let's unlock the Apollo for you. We'll let you know it's a one-time thing. That sort of thing, from what I've heard, was fairly common when Sandy was in charge of marketing. And it seemed like there was based on the feedback that I'm getting from other former backers, I mean, backers that have been in with the project since 2016 or 2013 in some cases, they said that Sandy was better in marketing. When she left marketing went to crap, and that customer service went to crap. Okay. I hope that is the case, and I'm hoping that if she comes back, maybe she redirects marketing / customer service to go, hey, your customer service, and not people doing the fake infomercials where you're just trying to advertise and sell a vacuum cleaners. Like, your job is to support the customers, the people that are literally paying your friggin' salary. So I really hope that happens with her, and if it does, it may help if she keeps her finger on the pulse of the community, and it seems like she does. Maybe it'll go in a better direction. Maybe they'll take this master modes, operator mode, whatever the F they're going to call it next month, and kind of maybe walk it back a little bit or improve it. Because I mean, it seems like we're getting some really dumb decisions, and then another dumb decision, then another dumb decision, and then on top of that, you got servers that are not stable at all. So it's even less of respectful of the customer's time, which is us for the customer.
Yeah. Yeah. Any last things you'd like to add?
CIG, if you ever do see this video, and I really hope that some people at CIG monitor the smaller streamers and go, maybe. And I have seen signs and comments made in Spectrum that make me think at least one or two of them are quietly lurking in stream. So CIG, if you see this or hear this, I love the game. Scarred loves the game. He named himself after your freaking project, for crying out loud. Treat him and I and the other backers like customers and not like someone who's given you money and we're no longer worth your time.
Well put. Well put. Thank you, Pagan. Thank you for taking time out of your day to talk. I really appreciate you, and love having you on here.
I'm going to enjoy the rest of the stream now. See you later.
All right, thank you. Grumpy, I can't even answer that question because I love both of them so much. Both of them I love so much. So let me get rid of my hoodie because it's now boiling in my room. Let me get rid of my hoodie real quick, and then we're going to bring in Chaos Squad. Hold on. You can jump in, Grumpy. I got Chaos goes first though. Chaos goes first. I wasn't sure, man. You've been keeping really weird sleeping hours, like really weird sleeping hours. All right, let's get Captain Dirty. Everybody, big 07s for Pagan, and let's bring Captain Dirty in. Captain, how are you? You there, Captain? Hello, good sir? Captain? Dirty? You there?
Yo.
Yo, there he is. How you doing?
Let me turn off the stream real quick.
Okay.
There we go. That's better. I'm chilling, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I miss your streams, by the way. I know I know what's going on, but everybody go visit Captain Dirty. Throw him some love so when he does come back to streaming, you can join right away.
One day.
So what's your take on all of this?
Honestly, man, I expected 4.0 to be a dumpster fire.
Okay.
I really wanted it to be the patch that I came back for, but it ain't it.
No.
It's really not it.
No.
So I haven't. Is 4.01 out yet?
Yeah, it's out. It's out. They dropped it 2 days ago, a day ago, 2 days ago, something like that.
Okay, so very recent.
Yeah.
It's probably a mess too, I imagine.
Some people say yes, other people are saying no. So I mean, come on, how many times have we logged on a Star Citizen server and, you, War Dog, one of your other lieutenants or captains, and all three of you are having a completely different experience, even though you're maybe 25 kilometers away from each other on the same server, right?
Right.
So,
yeah, pretty regularly.
Yeah. Which I wish didn't happen, but it seems like it happens.
It definitely does feel that way sometimes. I might have you dipped your toes into the new patch? What was your experience?
I've dipped my toes into 4.0 probably about a dozen times or so. Once or twice on stream, and then the rest, off stream. And for the most part, they usually start and end the same way. I can't call my ships. I have to claim them all. I get them all claimed. I go down to my hangar. I try to call them. Ships fall through. I fall through, or that doesn't happen. I take some cargo missions or some bounty missions. Markers don't populate, or the cargo doesn't show up, et cetera, et cetera. And I usually just get frustrated and alt F4, right? So that's generally been my experience. I've had a couple of good sessions. I went rock mining, and I did it a couple hours over 2 days, and that was actually, it worked really well, and I didn't have any issues. Now, granted, I had already made it out of my hangar and was somewhere else, so that may have helped.
Yeah.
So
I spent about 45 minutes trying to get to my hangar in the early days of 4.0, and it's like, all right, well, I guess that's that then. I think I gave it one more try, same result. Have you tried 4.01?
I have not tried 4.01.
Okay.
I don't know how long you heard the beginning where we went over the Tirada post, but I don't understand why they had 3 different versions of Star Citizen going at one time. They had 3.24, the 4.0 preview, and 4.01 PTU, and there was like virtually nobody in 4.01 PTU. Wow, that's getting harder and harder to say these patches. But nobody was in there, and so nothing got tested. Right. So, right. And they laid off or fired all their QA, so nobody was playing it. So between the few people testing it, the few people at QA testing it, it didn't exactly equal up to proper expectations, and they've had to put out several hot fixes since they've launched it, and it's better, but I have not actually tried it myself. It's there's some pretty spectacularly beautiful places in Pyro. My biggest issue with Pyro is they introduce a bunch of new assets for like the outposts and stuff, like the towns and the villages and the outposts and that stuff on the planets, and that's cool, but I don't want to be like really rude or trying to be that guy, but they really did a fantastic job of copy pasting them all over the place. Yeah. What the community? Oh, somebody are telling them we can't hear anybody here. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, I'm getting they're saying that they can't hear us. Yeah, my mic is showing that it's picking up, but they're saying they're not hearing you at all. Can you get? Yeah. Okay. He's going to try reconnecting. Discord, I don't know. I've been having a lot of issues with Discord lately. Oh, yeah, that could be. That could be. Could be that it's not picking that up. right, let's drag him back in. All right, you there? All right. Hopefully they can hear you now. Did you guys hear him?
1 2 1 2.
There we go.
Check.
There we go. Let me turn you down just a little bit. All right.
All right. So, okay, let me repeat my question.
Yes.
Now, I haven't really been following things too closely, but during your stream tonight, you've been talking about, do you think, the question you've been asking, do you think that, if the community is running things that would improve the way things have been going? Kind of summarizing there a little bit, but I'm wondering where is this coming from? Is that something that CIG is suggesting that they're wanting to try, or an idea of yours, or what?
So what I was asking was, can the community start steering the ship a little bit more? Right? And I mean that in a way with, like, can we start pushing CIG to make these fixes, to push them to actually do the things that they say they're going to do? Or is this going to be just more white noise? Now, my suggestion, well, okay, so what's your take? Do you think the community as a whole can start kind of steering CIG to do the things that actually need to be done with this game? Or is it just going to be, we're just more white noise, roadmap watchers, no one questions, sit down, shut up, and let us make the game? Or can we actually be like, look, this is not working, you guys need to change something?
Well, I think most of us, except for the most optimistic among Star Citizen players, have been pretty vocal about their disappointment lately. Mm-hmm. I'd say within the last year or so. And I think the only real tool we have is the voting with our wallets, right? And I think I'm in agreement with you. It's been a minute, at least a year, since I've given CIG any money.
Same.
I canceled my subscription after the fucking Medbay incident fiasco, and they haven't got a dime out of me since. Now, I think, their strategy of check out these awesome fucking ships, give us money, it's been working pretty well for them. But I have a feeling that after a certain point, the people that are interested in this project, that are willing to spend money, those numbers are going to get tapped out, and they might get a trickle of new people that are newly interested in it. But I think that, maybe some alarm bells start going off at a certain point when the funding really begins to dry up. I don't know if that's begun to happen or not.
Well, we haven't. I was going to say, we haven't gotten 2024's financial reports yet from CIG, and I'd really like to get it to see them. It's just a matter of when are they going to release them.
Yeah. I think that'd be about the only thing we could realistically do, other than storming their headquarters and holding them hostage, which I don't intend to do. I don't suggest anybody does, but what else are we going to do?
So I'm sure some of the people here have heard me say this before. I don't know if you've heard me say this before. So I'm going to repeat it. And that is, obviously they follow the money, right? I would very much, now what I'm about to say, I don't want Star Citizen to fail. Okay. So don't read into this as me saying I want Star Citizen to fail. What I would like to happen is the community as a whole stops spending money. They stop buying the new ships. They don't CCU chain up to stuff because you're still technically spending money. The money just stops, right? The subscriptions don't cover anything anymore. People don't buy the new ships, etc. And the funding dries up. And
boycott.
Right. And I don't want them to fail. Now, here, I want everybody to hear what I'm going to say very clearly. I want them to then have to seek more outside investment opportunities, right? They have to go to other people and get that money, right? So then what happens? They now have to answer to some, like, they don't have to answer to us, right? And they've shown that they don't have to answer to us. But when you have other people, when you have people that are investing millions of dollars into a company, they now have to answer to them. They now have to have dates into which things are going to be done. They have to have a certain expectation of quality attached to the patches or attached to that year, right? Otherwise, people will pull that money and they're stuck with nothing. So I would like to see outside investment, or the money from the backers start to dry up, them seek outside investment, and then they now have to answer for what they're doing, whether it's timestamps or not timestamps, a time to have things done, or a certain level of quality has to be brought to these patches or over a course of a year. Otherwise, these guys threaten to pull out. And I would like to see something like that happen. I think that's the only way it's going to actually get fixed. You know, Chris doesn't like publishers. Chris doesn't like answering to anybody. But I think it's at year 13. Pretty soon we're going to be talking about this in year 14. It's pretty obvious that he needs somebody to be pushing down on him to get things done.
You know, even the longest game, like the games that have taken the longest to develop, usually end around 10 to 12. You know, I'm thinking like Baldur's Gate 3. A game was in development forever.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, what do we wait? 15, 20 years for a finished game? Like, that's pretty wild.
You know, Red Dead Redemption
that is
2 was in development for 9 years. I believe Grand Theft Auto 6 is at around 10 years now. So yeah, you're right. It's about 8 to 10 years, and then a game comes out. So they started development in 2011, so it's year 14. So yeah, it's year 14. You know, I've brought this up too. You know, what was I going to say? I just totally lost my train of thought. Shit. Oh, well, it'll come back to me.
I got something. Oh, yeah. So somebody in the chat earlier mentioned, you know, why don't they just give us 317 to fucking play?
Yeah.
We all loved 317. It was going pretty well. And I think that that's honestly a pretty good idea. Like, why don't we have a stable fucking build that works and the ability to try out these newer builds, you know, that are obviously still going to need to be tested. But like, I don't know, I would be happy. I would probably be playing right now if there was a stable build for me to play. But I'm not interested in buggy shit shows. Like, I can't do it. And you know, maybe they do have to hire their own, you know, or beef up their QA team to fill that gap. But I think, you know, the benefits might outweigh the costs in terms of like retaining a player base.
I mean, it might.
People who are willing to open their pockets and their pocketbooks up.
Right.
You know, I think that might be a great idea, but you know, short of something like that, we do in some way need to, I think, put our feet down as star citizens here and be like, look, guys, if you're not going to give us an experience that we can enjoy, what the fuck are we giving you money for? And yeah, a pre-alpha, whatever, I get all that. But, you know, yeah, after 14 years, I like to have a game I could play. And I'm willing to not have the newest, latest tech if I've got a stable build that I know I can log onto and play for an hour and a half, 2 hours, get some fucking footage, have fun. Like, that's the thing, man. The last time I had fun playing Star Citizen was at least a year and a half ago at this point. or maybe a year and a quarter. But fuck, man, like that's a long time to be sitting in the aisle waiting for a game to play. At what point do people just be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it, dude. Like, I'm over it. The thrill is gone, right? I think a lot of us are there. And if they can't give us something playable, then those folks are just going to move on with their lives. You know, maybe they come back in 5 years when the game is actually finished. Maybe they don't. You know, like how long are we going to be kept in anticipation before we're just like, yeah, whatever, man, this is bullshit.
Right. All right. So I got another person waiting. Is there any last parting thoughts you would like to impart on the viewers and the listeners?
I don't know. I haven't lost hope yet, but man, we need to see some real improvements soon. I think my last rant really, that's pretty much my thoughts on it currently. So nice talking to you, man. I'll check in with you later.
All right, man. It was good hearing from you.
Yep, you too, bud.
All right. Later.
Late.
So that was the Captain Dirty. It was good hearing from him. I wish we could have some of our old builds back of Star Citizen, because I really enjoyed some of the older builds. I'd say the last time I had fun pirating was in 3.22. Right. So that's from, and 3.22 is it was almost a year ago. So yeah. I would appreciate if that kind of didn't go away, but 3.23 came, and then 24, and now 4.0, and we've gotten anyways, I won't get into it. Let's bring in Grumpy Eye. Let's see what Grumpy Eye's got to say about all of this. Grumpy Eye. I have no idea, Jim. I really don't know why that happens. But yeah, we've been dealing with some of the same bugs persisting for the 3/4 years, 3-ish years, 4-ish years I've been playing now. Like, no party markers. Grumpy, how are you?
D's nuts.
D's nuts.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, fine, I guess.
Yeah.
I've slept a bit, but not that much. So, yeah, I slept 2 hours. So,
I mean,
more than nothing.
Yeah, more than nothing, but less than
So, what's the topic of the podcast?
So the topic,
basically.
So the topic was the Terrata Spectrum post, and
I don't know what he said. I watched Salty Mike's video for a minute, and then I just didn't care anymore. Honestly, don't fucking care. Listen, since I've seen the Verse Project and how far like a 5-people team got with like no funding or anything in a year, and like compared to Star Citizen, it was like year 5 when we got all of that, right? I don't fucking care anymore. Like I did not log in since Marvel Rivals dropped. I just like, why? I would rather fucking log into the Verse Project and just look at the stars and crash into the invisible wall.
Crash into the yeah.
Honestly,
so far I like what I see with the Verse, and my problem is that I'm impatient, or maybe it's because lack of Star Citizen that I'm like, I want it now, right now, because it does look cool, and it definitely looks like an Expanse version of Star Citizen. Yeah. And I like that. And Grumpy, tell the viewers what you discovered the other day about EVAing outside of your ship in the Verse.
Oh, well, there's 2 things. So I don't know if you saw the second thing I tagged you, but I don't know.
I may have, but
okay. So first thing, I don't know if the viewers even know what the Reverse project is. You should check it out. It's free. It's on Steam, and it's just a tech demo basically right now. But they are not limiting the speeds. So if you EVA outside of your ship is still gonna have the same momentum and same acceleration. I don't think it's gonna accelerate unless you have like the thrusters all the way to 100%. But it doesn't really matter. But you're basically gonna be flying right next to it, and you're gonna EVA, and like if the thrusters are not at 100%, you're gonna be able to catch up. So what I'm seeing happening in that game is like we doing repairs on the outside of the ships while we're traveling, while we're flying. You should probably show them the Discord. What are they called? The sneak peeks.
I'm showing the
like,
trailer right
the
now.
Damage model and everything. Yeah, I'm seeing it on the.
No, I did not. No. I did not.
The other discovery that I made, well, me and another guy made, like you can go through the invisible wall if you're not in the cockpit. So basically, you're like once you sit back into your seat, the ship is gonna explode. But,
okay.
One of the guys went all the way to the moon.
Did he go like through the moon, or did he smack into the moon and die?
No, at one point he just got teleported back to the station, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So if you guys didn't catch what Grumpy said, is if you get out of your ship going at a certain speed, you will maintain your speed relative to the ship, which allows you to on the move fix if it gets added, if it's
you're gonna keep the momentum basically.
Yeah.
And also the speeds are not limited at all. Like, fastest I went, because it's like a small area where you can fly. Right now I went like 3,000 kilometers per hour.
Really?
Yeah, and you can go like much faster than that, obviously. And the idea, the developers actually said this. The idea is to like make like a bubble kind of a thing when there's a fight, where so you're still gonna go at the same speeds, but the relative speeds towards each other are gonna be like slower, so you can actually hit each other, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
actual
Interesting.
Newtonian physics.
Yeah. So, look, I know you have quite a bit of money invested in Star Citizen. At this point, is for you, I know you don't speak for the entire community, but for you, is there any hope left, or are you seeing games like the Verse Project, Unforgiven Space, Kanga, and a few of the others that are coming up as like it's a lost cause, and I'd rather just
very much like Star Citizen. It's just like riddled with bugs, and it's just like, I don't know, it doesn't look really appealing to me. Give me a second, I just gotta hydrate for a second because I ran up the stairs.
Hydrate.
No, it's not a Star Citizen clone. It's basically what Star Citizen Promise was. Yeah, squad. But anyway, I can't say that all hope is lost, but my issue is the last couple of ships that they released were
shit.
Yeah, very much. And they are like, if you remember Salvage, well, you don't because you're a newer player than I am. But back in the day, they were talking about Salvage and how Salvage is going to be. I just remember that there's a Russian that wants me to be quiet. I have neighbors that want me to be quiet. But I have a video of that, but I just got to find it. They said that with Salvage, hull munching should be the main thing, and the hull scraping is going to be like a cherry on top, which is logical, right? Because you're like,
right,
hull munching, and you have all the fucking electrical stuff inside, and like all the armor, etc., etc. And then you like hull scrape, or first you hull scrape if you want to like make some extra money, and they like reverse that purely because of like it's too easy to hole munch with this shitty way that we're doing hole munching right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they nerf it, and okay, so what? We're gonna wait for Maelstrom. But here's the thing: they just released the Fortune, and tell me how is hole munching with Maelstrom going to work with the Fortune? I didn't see anybody talking about that because the Reclaimer has a claw, and it was supposed to like toss shit inside the salvage bay or whatever the grinder, right?
Right.
And on the other hand, you have the Vulture, and if you look at the pictures of the Vulture, like the original concept, it has like tractor beams that pull parts inside the, I'm going to call it a mouth, between those big fucking pillars that you have, or big arms, right? I don't know if you're listening to me at all.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you.
Okay.
So, well, there's those little tiny white boxes on either side of the scraping arm of the Fortune, and I think that's what is used to munch. But
yeah, those things are used to like disintegrate stuff, right?
Yeah.
So how is it gonna hole munch if we're actually waiting for Maelstrom? Like they're either not planning for the future, or they just gave up on Maelstrom and they're like, well, yeah, whatever. We're just gonna sell like this, and we're gonna figure it out later.
Can both be true?
Probably.
I mean, because I really don't know. I honestly, even with the Vulture and the Reclaimer, I wasn't exactly sure how with Maelstrom that any of that was going to work. Like you can't have Maelstrom and a straw or some magical, what was it, like wavy lines between the arms of the Vulture go out and
Stay
pop a ship.
and listen.
Like I don't.
You have a bot that you got to ban.
Yeah, I see that.
But also Jim Flack said, yeah, he confirmed that the original Vulture had. I lost it now. Yeah, it had a grinder on the front. So, like, with Maelstrom, what I said when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's never gonna happen. And the reason behind that is, we already have like servers that are overloaded because like there's way too much fucking entities and like physicalized stuff that you gotta like they gotta be calculated 30 times a second, right?
Right.
Their physics need to be like in time with the servers, and then you're gonna like magically fucking disintegrate a ship into a trillion pieces, and you're gonna like suck it all in, and you're gonna like, how is that gonna happen, guys? Like, do you know how many entities that is?
It's just going to keep on going. Like, I don't. Once again, I don't. Like you said, I don't think there's any clear view of the future anymore.
No,
and
we even lost the roadmap.
Yeah.
Like,
and
they're saying that sorry, but like they're saying that they're focusing on stability and all that shit this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's happening with engineering and crafting and base building and all that stuff that was supposed to be in last year?
Yeah.
So what? We're just gonna be like focusing on stability the whole year? Is that what we're gonna do? And like, if you saw the new patch and the patch files, apparently there's like 100 fixes, and none of them actually work.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing from Salty Mike and several other different creators talking about the Tirada post today and yesterday, that they released a patch with 100 different fixes and maybe 15 of them actually fix stuff. So since you brought it up, let me see if I can find it.
You probably saw the video that I posted in our Discord where a guy was flying in space in a fucking tram.
Yes.
Server meshing, dude, it's gonna save us all. It's the Jesus patch. And when I said that server meshing is gonna like make things worse, people laughed at me, and then like there you go.
I'm trying to find the letter from the chairman for 2024 because
lying man.
Yeah, exactly. When was this? Is this the right one? Okay, so here we go. Yeah, that's the right one. So in the letter of the chairman, Jesus said, Jesus wrote down and said this, 2025 focus on playability, and they pretty much say what you were just saying, quality of life, tackling tech debt. They have to, the ongoing challenges to balancing these efforts alongside the introduction of new features and technology. Prompted us to reevaluate their approach to feature and content rollout, focusing on steps that can bring game to a better state while maintaining a steady delivery. So this made me shake my head when I read it, and I still don't think a lot of people actually either.
Can you read it again? I zoned out because you were just reading too fast.
Okay, honestly. So he says that they're going to focus on the quality of life and the tech debt, right?
Yeah.
And that they need to challenge this, or the ongoing challenges to balance these efforts alongside the introduction of new features and technology. And what he goes on to say is, this has prompted us to reevaluate our approach to feature and content rollout, focusing on steps we can take to bring the game to a better state while maintaining steady delivery. Now, what I think people stopped reading after that, or they didn't put any thought into this next part. So this is the next part. To achieve our goals, we are making a fundamental change, decoupling feature development from content creation and general fixes. This means new features will no longer hold up content delivery or risk destabilizing the live environment. This approach will leverage the tech preview channel, which was reserved for major new pieces of technology like the replication layer, server meshing, but will now extend to gameplay feature testing too. When a feature is deemed too complex or risky enough to require focused testing, we will introduce a separate experimental EPTU channel dedicated to that feature. Testing in this isolated channel will allow us to refine and stabilize the feature without impacting content and broader development work. Blah, blah, blah. But here's my question. Who's going to play that?
Who the fuck is going to play that?
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to...
They, like, the 4.01 or whatever the fuck it's called, nobody played it. That's why it's in this fucking state. Because nobody played it, because everybody was on the preview channel.
Yes.
Because we had a fucking PU, the preview channel, and then the fucking PTU channel. And then like, well, we're going to release the 4.0 to live, and there you go, you have 4.0.1.
So Allergic... sorry to cut you off. So Allergic, what they're saying here is, so basically like what we just saw with a lot, the 324, the 4.0 preview and the 4.01 PTU, we're going to start seeing this in the future with when they are introducing new features, which is not content, right? So content would be like new missions, new dynamic stuff, new ships, etc. Right? That is content.
Yeah, mostly ships. That's content.
Right. So
ships.
Features would be new technology or new things that interact with the technology that they currently have, right? So what they're wanting to do is separate that. So now you have a live, a possible PTU with the new content that they're adding, or the new dynamic event, or the new ships, and then they're going to have a third channel for case in point, Maelstrom, right?
And then for people that are in Evo, they're going to have Evo.
Right.
So you're basically going to have like 1 terabyte of space on your SSD.
Right.
It's just free for Star Citizen. Fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck
so,
that.
And my question, and to Grumpy is, and Grumpy, well, I didn't even ask it. Grumpy said it himself. Who the fuck's going to play that? Nobody's going to play that. You know, you're going to be in either the live because you want to, I'm finger quoting here, you're going to want a stable game to play and enjoy on your, you know, day off or 2 days off or whatever. Or you're going to be that in that group that wants to play the newest thing, and you're going to be in the PTU testing out the new content that they're coming out with, right? Who in the hell is going to go test at length Maelstrom? Like myself, I'll go in there and go pew pew, it blows up, and I'll see how it works and go, oh, that looks cool, and then I'd never go back.
That shit is probably never going to happen.
Right. So
like, you even saw the preview of that in one of the ISCs, and it like on a sole, like it was a single fucking guy that hosted the server, and it fucking took him like what 20 minutes to spawn all the entities.
Yes.
Like, no, that's never going to happen, dude.
No, I think I think they have hit the limits of the engine that they're using.
I mean, yeah, but like again, they are like modifying the engine a lot, so maybe they can mod it to like work better with more entities. But then again, who's gonna do that? Like the server meshing guy left, the team leader.
Yeah, the team lead guy did.
Who's gonna do all that shit? Like
the
shit that they're releasing are just like they just want money. But then there's no gameplay. There's no gameplay attached to them, and the ships are in such a fucking bad state. Like the Polaris is just like 7 years or 8 years of waiting time for that kind of a fucking letdown. Come on.
Yeah, that was pretty
Fortune,
bad.
That's like and then you have Fortune and like, oh, we are focusing on like our ships being realistic and everything, and then you have like which I'm fine with, to be honest. Like the dispenser just teleporting crates around, I'm fine with that. But then again, why doesn't the Vulture fucking have that?
Right. So
because well, realism, you know, and this is fun. No, it's not fun, and it's not fucking realistic. Like fucking conveyor belts, dude. And then you have this because like they didn't know how to fucking make it. They just didn't know what to do with it, so they're just gonna teleport the fucking crates. Which again, it's fine for any other game, but if you're pushing realism and telling us that everything needs to be super fucking realistic forever, then fuck you. Then like you're charging like what $155 for that? Like, geez.
Oh no, it's $175, my guy.
Oh, it's $175.
It's
crazy.
Yeah, I don't even.
The physics engine is shit. Like I've never seen in a game, like in the past 10 years, I've never seen a fucking physics engine that's this fucking bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like it's really bad. I mean, the fact that you really can't, I mean, it's been how many years and we still fall through the planet?
Well, that doesn't like it doesn't.
That's not.
Have anything to
I know
do
it's
with
not
the
with physics, but
yeah, but like
it's a there's an easy fix behind it, right?
Fucking 300 million ton ships get blown away by a fucking breeze. That's the issue. You nose down and you like crash into a tree and you just like stay vertical, just like suspending on a fucking tree with a carrack. That's the issue. Like I don't know. You know what? My main issue right now is like, why the fuck are you focusing on like fixing the game? There is no game. It's like the fucking spoon from the Matrix. There is no fucking spoon. There is no game. Once it's stable, people are gonna realize that there's nothing to fucking do in the game. It's just boring. Why not like add more fucking features? Why not add more content? Why not add more gameplay? We need more fucking gameplay. But why? Like the reason why they're doing that, you can see it on the roadmap. They're pushing for 1.0, so they want to go into beta at one point. So beta is probably going to be like Nyx and Stanton and fucking Pyro, and then they're going to push to 1.0. But like, what are we going to do? Where's the fucking gameplay?
Fresh meat.
I mean, Marcus is here as well. Marcus has said it. I've said it. I'm pretty sure you've said it to some degree or another. It's Star Citizen is a mile wide and an inch deep, and for me, one of the reasons why I moved on to pirating / PvP and all of that is because I don't find the missions and everything else within the game interesting, right? I like forcing player interactions and seeing what the players are, how they're going to react to it. Are they going to fight? Are they going to come up with some crazy way to escape their ship and get into mine? Or, are we going to...
We can do that in DayZ, dude. We can do that in any other fucking game.
I understand that, but it's not Star Citizen. I'm just saying Star Citizen. That's why I liked it. But now, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree with me, now even pirating has become so tedious that I don't want to do it anymore. Like
there's no reason to do it. Like, see, why I mentioned DayZ, you're gonna see a player in DayZ, and you're immediately gonna kill him. Why? Because he probably has something on him that you need. It might be just like a bottle of water, or an empty bottle that you can use as a fucking silencer, right? In Star Citizen, you're just gonna gank people because scanners don't work, and you're gonna gank people until somebody has actual cargo in it that you can sell, because most people are just like doing cargo missions right now, and
right.
Like you can't fucking sell those. It's just fucking mind-boggling, and it's giving me a fucking aneurysm. How do they do this every fucking time they release the cargo missions, and then they don't let pirates sell that fucking cargo? That's just it's fucking diabolical, honestly.
I agree. I don't really have anything else to add, because like I said earlier, I don't want to be that guy and be like, haha, I told you so. But I still feel vindicated. Everything that I said, people like Grumpy said, other people that 4.0 was going to be borderline disastrous, all the things that we said about it, right? Going on over a year, when they finally said they were going to have it out in 2024, it all came true. And I didn't want that to be the case. I wanted it to be a success, but it's not a success. I don't consider it a success yet. And I would like to see something fixed. Like I mean, right now, I don't know about you, Grumpy, but right now I've kind of written it off as my money's gone. Like it's gone. I'm never going to get it back. I'm never going to get the full amount back. And even if I do try to sell everything, it's, I'm going to get pennies on the dollar for it. But part of me still hopes that this game is going to be like amazing and awesome sometime. But I don't know if I want to wait until I'm 60 years old to play it.
Well, I mean, you can play other games in the meantime, but then again, I don't think it's ever going to be amazing, honestly, because I don't think they have a slightest fucking idea of like what they are actually doing. I don't think that they ever made like a PowerPoint fucking presentation and said, okay, so these are the ideas and we're going to move towards them, and everything that we're doing, we're going to do so we can enforce these fucking ideas, right?
Right.
But like, even if it happens in fucking 10 years from now, like, dude, remember last year, this time, like last year, or even before that, like during fucking CitizenCon, they said that Squadron 42 people are moving into Star Citizen, and everybody's gonna like work on Star Citizen now, right?
Right.
And everybody got hyped. Somebody said that like it's Rich's era.
And
I guess it's what they're like referring to.
Right.
So like, what happened with that, guys? Remember, well, you don't, but like 2 years prior to that, Chris said that working on Squadron 42 is actually really good for Star Citizen, because Star Citizen is going to get every feature that Star Citizen gets, it's going to be like straight from Squadron 42, which means that it's going to be fleshed out. and that never fucking happened.
Hey now. We got the F8 Lightning. That's from Squadron. We got the F7A
listen.
whatever from Squadron.
We got the fucking gurneys that the Chris Roberts made himself.
And also,
like, he coded them, and they were so fucking shit that they needed to get another guy to. Like, how is this a company that has probably like 900 people now? Because like they let go of at least 200 people. Right?
And also, fuck off, Grumpy. We got Star Map 2.0. It's the greatest thing ever invented, put into a video game. And did you now see that all the video games are now copying CIG by when you load in, they have a shader buffering system now, and like the shaders load before the game.
And character creation
yeah, and all the video games have copied them since they added that. Like, come on now, Grumpy. Greatest innovation ever,
dude. I don't know if you like if you saw the comments on my the Verse project video. It's just fucking hilarious. Oh, they just stole everything from CAG.
Yes,
no.
I
CAG
saw it.
Didn't fucking invent anything, dude.
No, not really. And I mean, look at how long it took for them to get
they invented the slowest fucking development ever. Yeah, that's
so, well, remember we had that I'm gonna start wrapping this up. But remember that conversation we had I think it was about a year ago this time, and you showed me, I think it was a Gamescom 2016, where Chris Roberts was standing next to a monitor, I want to say, and it had like StarNet, iCache, and like 5 other things, and you were like, well, see, maybe that is everything that they had to figure ways around or invent.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay,
dude.
I wish I still had it, but okay. So what's funny to me is from that point on, they talked about server meshing about every year, right? And Pyro and how it's coming soon and etc.
Since 2018,
yeah. And what's funny is we didn't get any workable versions of server meshing until after they acquired Turbulent.
Yeah.
And Turbulent seems like they did all of it.
Well, no, the guy that left, he was not from Turbulent.
No.
He was there. He was in the Manchester office, as far as I know.
Right, but Benoit was also... He's from Turbulent, and he also had a big hand in it. But yeah, it really seems like
because everything is done on the fucking servers, and everything had to be migrated, and you just had to have like a capable manager that can just like tell all the teams what to do and in what like order. Because like that even guns and your like shields and everything are tied to your server. Everything's tied to the servers.
Yes, yeah, I agree. That's what it seems like. Which is why 15 different people all standing within 5 feet of each other in the game are all getting 15 different experiences, because it's all tied to the server and client to server, server to client stuff. At least that's what it seems like to me. So
it is. Yeah.
I'm going to wrap this up because I could talk for hours and hours. Yeah, Mom Spaghetti about this for hours and hours and hours. And I don't want to bore everybody. And, I don't probably not, but
you
less is more.
If your ass hurts, you want to take a shit.
I don't need to take a shit, but
cigarette.
That yes, and there's only so much Star Citizen talk I can do in a day before it starts to hurt everything.
Yes.
So. Real quick, any game recommendations for people, and do you have any final thoughts on Star Citizen? And don't you dare say I quit again, please.
No, I don't quit, but I don't like want to fucking make a video because I'm just gonna be negative. And like, you remember like a month ago, I actually wanted to like play with you, and I wanted to pirate people, and I just wanted to make some content and have some fun in the fucking game, but that's not possible. So I just gave up.
Hey, no, you got a video out, and we did get content, and we had fun.
That was before 4.0. That was 2 months ago.
Was that before
Like,
4.0?
yeah, I was posting a video monthly, like one video a month. That's terrible, honestly.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait.
No.
What?
Yes. No.
What patch
No.
was that where we talked
Before
to the new
server
player?
meshing. Before server meshing.
That was before server meshing?
Yeah.
When me, you, Marcus, and
we were in
Fateless?
Grimhex. Yeah, we were in Grimhex. We were not in Pyro.
Really?
Yeah.
And he flew out of your Polaris and exploded at the end of the video?
Yep.
That was...
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, fuck Star Citizen, play other games. Marvel Rivals is fucking amazing. The Verse project, you should check it out. They're actually like the mods the developers are very active on their Discord, so you can hop in there and check them out.
Yeah, let me...
I'm still not sure if it's gonna be like, because we don't know anything about the monetization, and they're like really silent when it comes to that. They're also not responding to my emails because I want to make music for them, but they apparently they don't have enough time, and like you can see that they're actually working, like they're raid boxing a lot of shit every day. But then again, like, fucking answer them email. So, but it's currently free to test out, so you can check it out. Oh, apparently somebody had an issue with an elevator in that game, like went through the floor.
Really?
Yeah, but I never had that, but somebody did. And they were like, "Oh, they stole everything from Star Citizen, even the elevators." But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I tried X4 again because they asked me to like cover it on my channel, and I was like, well, I did buy it a while ago, and it never worked for me. And then I tried it again, so I can like tell them what happens, and everything happens. So I just don't bother. Honestly, if you have Toby and if you have my sticks, just don't bother with the fucking game.
Really?
But, yeah, it's fucking terrible. But other than that, like play Stellaris, play Eve, I guess. Those are really good games.
I have Stellaris.
Yeah.
Eve, look, Eve, I'm sure it's a great game. I just can't get into it because like I'm not in the ship, and it's a clicky game, and like I love clicky games because I like Diablo 2 and Last Epoch and other things. I just can't get into it. I'm not saying Eve is
in space is a bit weird.
Yeah, like
it's not a FPS game.
Yeah.
Did you try Infinity Battlescape?
No, I watched you play it, and it looked really cool. It looked really cool.
It's really good, but unfortunately, like it's still getting updates, but unfortunately, it doesn't have any like nobody's playing it. There are a ton of bots that you can fight, but like nobody's fucking playing it.
That sucks.
Like every time I hopped on, there was like 2 people on, and the servers are huge. Like it's basically a whole solar system.
Yeah. All right, guys. Grumpy, I'm gonna kick you to a different room. I'm gonna do my sign off.
All right.
I would like to chat with you in a little, and when I'm done with my smoke, though, if you don't mind.
All right.
All right.
I'll be here.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Grumpy.
Bye.
Thanks for joining. Everybody, check out Grumpy's channel.
You. No, don't.
All right. Thanks, Grumpy. I appreciate you, man. All right, guys. I really appreciate you all being here. I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. I had a lot of fun with this, and I don't want you guys, whether you're watching this as a VOD or you're watching this live right now, I don't want you to think that I hate Star Citizen and that Star Citizen is the worst game in the world, and I want it to fail. It's very far from the truth. I don't want this game to fail. I want to see it succeed. It's getting harder and harder and harder for me to keep that optimism up, and which is kind of why I don't cover it and kind of why I don't play it very often. So thank you again for stopping by. And thank you for all those that called in. Pagan, Dirty, Grumpy. I really appreciate your guys' thoughts on the game. And guys, in the comment section, if you want to start a discussion in there, go ahead. If you want to come into the Discord, let me add the Discord again one more time in the chat. Hold on a second. Get it. It has been got. Let me add it. Here you go. Guys, jump into the Discord, have conversations in there. Check out some of the channels that we got, like where JT shares his love, and a few others. I'm going to be adding a couple of new channels here soon. And everybody, I'm working on a video. I hope to have it out hopefully Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. So long. Thanks for all the fish. And I'll see you in the next one. I saw what you said there, JT. I saw what you said there. You guys have a great night, great day, great evening, whatever. Later.